You would have thought a 92-yard touchdown from Jerry Jeudy would have been enough, but in a situation very similar to the end of last year's game, the Raiders drove down the field, but this time they got the two-point conversion, and the Raiders walk away with a 32-31 victory. Hello, and thank you for joining us for the Broncos Postgame Show. I'm Phil Milani alongside Eric Dalala. Eric, it seemed like the Broncos did almost everything right to win this game. They had 4 turnovers. You thought that they were going to get the job done, but the Raiders turned the page and got the win.
Yeah, that's right, Phil. Like you said, the Broncos did a lot right. Drew Lock didn't turn the ball over for the first time since week 1. They won the turnover margin 4-0, their best output since 2018 against the Steelers. Jerry Jeudy had a big 92-yard touchdown run bouncing back from last week, and it did seem like they did everything right. They took a couple of second half leads after being down a touchdown at halftime, but it just ultimately wasn't enough. And it does seem like these AFC West games always come down to the final moment. This time, Darren Waller, who had a nice game, 9 receptions, 118 yards and a touchdown, he ends up getting the game-deciding 2-point conversion there. Then the Broncos, they use their timeouts down there on defense, Phil, don't have enough time to get any closer than a 63-yarder for Brandon McManus. It looked like he got a little bit of dirt there, got blocked at the line of scrimmage. And so I just think it comes down to you force these 4 takeaways, but there were a couple of times you get no points off of them. And quite frankly, just wasn't good enough. They fall 32-31.
Yeah, just not good enough, I guess, just down the stretch there on that final drive for the defense. But hard to blame the defense considering how many guys were missing. Bradley Chubb not in this one. Shelby Harris not in this game. So a lot of players that you normally see out there making big plays. Shelby Harris knocked that 2-point conversion down last year, not able to go in this one. But yeah, for the Broncos, some people might say, hey, this was the best case scenario, huh, Eric? I mean, for draft seeding, I know the Broncos won't say that, but they played well enough to win, but just didn't get it done.
Yeah, I think that that's true. The Broncos now locked into 4th place in the AFC West. So they have a little bit of an easier schedule next year. Like you mentioned, a better draft position than if you win. But just against the Raiders, you want to get that win. And obviously, it was chippy during the game. Noah Fant had a little sideline interaction with a Raiders assistant coach who appeared to throw a shoulder into him. Then at the end of the game there, the 2 teams kind of gathered on the field for a couple of minutes in a sort of scrum. So in a heated rivalry like this, Phil, you almost throw out whatever the advantage of the draft position is. You want to get the win. You want to send the Raiders to their 10th consecutive loss to end the season. It just didn't happen.
Yeah, and a couple of things we were paying attention to in this one was Tim Patrick to see if he could get his 7th touchdown this season. Would have been a first for the Broncos since 2014. He left this game with an injury. The other thing we were paying attention to was Melvin Gordon came so close to a 1,000-yard season.
Yeah, just 14 yards short, and would have been closer had Noah Fant not been called for holding. That called another 10-yard gain back. The Broncos, that was kind of their downfalls. They were unable to ice the game there. A couple opportunities where maybe Melvin Gordon could have stayed in bounds instead of going out of bounds and stopping the clock. And the Broncos just couldn't quite execute that 4-minute drive they needed to ice the clock down. And then, like we mentioned, Phil, the end of game scenario last year on a 50-50 play with a 2-point conversion, it goes your way. This time it goes Las Vegas's way.
Let's go to Sidney Jones now, who's with our player of the game.
We are here with Jerry Jeudy after the Broncos' 32-31 loss to the Raiders. Jerry, what a way to end the season. Walk me through the emotions you're feeling right now, that your rookie season has come to an end.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this season went by really fast. Season already over with, but I wanted to finish off stronger, finish with a dub, but unfortunately we couldn't finish off like that. But I feel like the whole team fought good. We fought hard and we played through the whistle, and we didn't come out with a victory, but we damn sure fought.
Yeah, like you mentioned, obviously not the outcome you all wanted, but Jerry, you had a great bounce back game from last week. 5 receptions for 140 yards, that 92-yard touchdown. That touchdown was the longest reception by any NFL player this season. How does it feel to have that type of game and finish the season off strong with that?
It means a lot. I let my team down last week, and that's a feeling that I never want to feel again. So this week I did everything in my power just to execute my plays and make plays and catch everything that came my way. and that's something I just focused on during the week. And I came in today and had a decent game.
Yeah, going off of that, how did you approach this game mentally? Last week.
Mentally, I was just focused on the little details, just looking the ball in, make sure I secure the catch, stuff like that.
Well, granted, you wanted the season to end, but looking back, Jerry, how much have you learned in your first year? How would you rate your progress this year?
I learned a lot, really. I just being in the game and seeing everything, seeing different coverages, knowing how many plays and like when I'm gonna be tired and stuff like that. Really gonna help me on and how my body feel right now. Say we have 5 more games, will I still be able to play how I'm feeling right now? So me learning all that, come to the off season, I know like what I need to work on. So yeah.
Yeah, what are those things that you want to work on heading into the off season?
Like my hands, first of all. Like I had a lot of drops this season drops that I usually make, but just ain't go my way. Just my hands, my legs, just knowing the game mentally as well.
Yeah, going off of that, what positives did you see from today's game that you want to take into the off season and continue to build upon?
The positive I seen today's game, I had a couple of contested catches that I need to stay consistent with. That's the biggest thing, really. Of course, you can catch the ball when somebody's not on you. Can catch it when somebody's on you? So I feel like that's the biggest thing I need to work on.
All right. Well, Jerry, really appreciate you. Thanks so much for taking the time to chat.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sydney. So, Erica, the Broncos now end up the season 5-11. Not the season they were hoping for, obviously, but decimated by injuries. And I think that's a way to just sum up a difficult season all around, considering they played an entire season through a pandemic.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Phil. It just wasn't the Broncos' year. A lot of optimism coming into the season. It just didn't pan out a lot because of the injuries. In some cases, COVID-19 took its toll. Obviously, the Broncos played a game without a quarterback. But I think going into 2021, there is reason for optimism. Again, you're going to have a nice top 10 draft pick here, a little bit of an easier schedule, as we mentioned, and I think some encouraging signs to end this season. You've got Drew Lock, who plays well, a passer rating above 100, doesn't turn the ball over. You've got Jerry Jeudy, who rebounds from a game with a lot of drops against the Chargers to have another 100-yard game. He's at 850 plus yards on the season now, a really good rookie campaign. And then I think defensively, some guys like Draymond Jones, Parnell Motley, who knows what the contributions are like next year, but you like to see young players contribute and continue to play with effort.
Yeah, and the tone heading into the offseason will certainly be set over the next couple of days as we hear some exit interviews from the players tomorrow, and then hopefully we'll hear from Vic Fangio and John Elway in the days to come and really set the tone moving forward heading into the offseason. All right, that's going to do it for us. For Sidney Jones and Eric Dalala, I'm Phil Milani. The Broncos fall 32-31. This has been the Broncos Postgame Show.